Hello, and welcome to PAD 6500 Policy Analysis. So, we're going to be meeting face to face every other week, but I thought since it's not starting until next week that I would give you a brief little introduction and say hello to all of you and give you a chance to perhaps hear from me so that I can say, if you have any questions at all, feel free to contact me. My preferred method of communication is the campus email. That's csnook1@kennesaw.edu. So when we are meeting, and our first meeting together will be on August the 27th, but I'm hoping that you're able to get a chance to get started and get some of the reading done, and we're going to even have our first discussion post before our first class. This will give you a chance to get started to hit the ground running. We have a lot to cover this semester. I'm trying not to make it too daunting. After all, I know that you have other commitments and other assignments, but there's things that we need to get through. And I hope you're looking forward to this as much as I am. After all, many of you are either already or planning to become public administration professionals. And so you might think public policy, that's a little bit outside of my purview. That's a little bit outside of what I do. I don't decide what happens. Instead, I decide how to carry it out. Maybe you're thinking of yourself as an engineer rather than a scientist or a philosopher, because you might think of public policy as being a little bit less applied. And that's not really what I'm aiming for this semester. I'm aiming to give you a tool called policy analysis that you can at least interrogate your expectations with. We view this as a methodology. And so hopefully I give you a little bit of that. Now, my interest in public policy has typically been more in the area of public policy theory. And there's some things that I hope that you're able to pick up through the class and through some recommended readings that I give you. Now, if it's recommended, a lot of times what I'll be saying is, when you get a chance. As an institutionalist, I'm very much interested in how government and how the various rules and enforcement mechanisms in our society link the people to how policy is carried out. As a public administrator, you'll probably have a lot of great opportunities to carry out policies for people. And I don't know to what degree that you're going to enjoy that. I assume a great deal. After all, you're dedicating yourself to getting advanced education in public administration. So what I'm hoping for is that if you feel like there's some question that you have, that you don't say, oh no, I have to wait till the 27th. This is a 50-50 hybrid class, which means that you have as much expectation to get help from me during a week that we're not meeting face to face as you do during a week when we are. When we do meet face to face, it will be from 6:30 to 9:15 p.m. So we might not want to be standing around after class talking till the wee hours of the morning about public policy. Instead, maybe our best communication will occur when we're talking online. You'll have my phone number, you'll have my email address, and I view an email as being as natural as walking up and talking to me. Now, I will have time before class starts. With our class starting at 6:30, I'll probably get supper, possibly with my family, possibly down here in Kennesaw, and then I'll be coming over and I'll be in my office before class. I'll also have office hours during the day. I anticipate that's a little bit more for my other courses that are during the day, but if you if you want to, I will try to make sure that I am available to you in the evenings before class so that you can just stop by my office. Now, then you'll also need to give me a half an hour to walk up to the learning building, because my office is in the social sciences building. It's number 5072. So maybe I'll try to be there 15 minutes or so early to answer any questions. But obviously, the best way to start any conversation is online. So if you do anything this week, that is important. It's familiarizing yourself with the syllabus. You can think of a syllabus almost as a reading assignment. Try to break it down, find out any questions you have. I know that we all come from different places and different times, and so perhaps what I'm trying to communicate to you might not be what you're hearing, right? There's the person making the noise, creating the symbols, and then you are interpreting those symbols. And if it's my goal that when I say something, that I communicate to you, not that I just make noise. So we have 2 textbooks. The Weimer and Vining is going to be critical, but I also strongly encourage you, use the Bardock book as a resource. If you have the opportunity to at some point, pick up a copy of it, maybe a used copy, and just have it. It's the downside of the Day One Access program is that you have these books while the class is going on, and when the class is over, they go away. I have almost no book that I ever saved from my undergraduate days, but when I got to graduate school, I started collecting the books that I found important. Weimer and Vining might be, but I really think that the Bardock book will be something. And it's a nice little book, and I think it would be great. But if you're in a bit of a pinch, you do have it as part of the as part of the course. There'll be other readings. Almost all of those, or really all of those, will be available to you either from a link in the course, or I would recommend that, since you'll be doing research, that you practice by going to the library website and getting the link to it, and then downloading the PDF. After all, having something now, that's great, but having it when you need it, that's what's most important. So I'll let you read through the various assignments. The main focus of the semester is that we're going to research and build a policy analysis project. And so there's going to be many steps along the way. In the world of AI, we can't just say, okay, let's have a final paper, and we don't look at anything in the intermediate. I think you should always remind yourself as you're deciding how to spend your time, that for the rest of your career, you're going to want to be the person who's able to get information when other people don't. And so there's a serious disadvantage from getting most of your information from AI, right? Because your boss can do that too. Now, maybe he's an exceedingly lazy person, but I seriously doubt it. What's more likely is that your boss has trusted you to gather information, and the very basic baseline of what he wants is the AI. What is that? Is it a C, right? If we think that AI is worth more than a C in the course, then we're saying that maybe our jobs aren't that important at all. But what information we can bring in over and above what putting something into ChatGPT or Grok or whatever would give someone, that's when we have a tool. That's where we are the experts. That's when we are value added to the system. And so I hope to be able to teach you to do some of that this semester. Certainly, you're going to want to read through the class policies. I suspect you're all going to want to do very well. It's not my goal to prove that I'm a smart person and to tear anyone down. It's my goal that everyone in this class gets an A, and that when somebody says, "Why did everyone in the class get an A?" I'll say it's because they were that darn good. They were amazing. Just read their work product and you will be thrilled. And they'll see it. They'll see it in the other classes. I used to talk to my colleagues when I was at Kent State. And Kent State that year, the year that I received my master's degree from there, actually went to the final eight in basketball. And I said to them, that's us too. That's us too, right? Some school might have a reputation. Some school might be the one that everybody looks to. And, there's North Carolina in basketball, and there's, numerous other schools that Duke, that everybody talks about in basketball. But for one year, one of the eight best teams in the country was Kent State University from Ohio. And, this year, this year, the very best public administration program in Georgia can be you guys. We won't know now, but we'll know when you guys move on and become what you all can be. And so I encourage you to think that way, that this is as great a class, this is as great a program as you can make it. And from what I know of you so far, I think that's quite possible. And we'll get to know each other much, much better as we go along. So let me start by saying what we're expecting for that very first week. So obviously, looking at this video, and starting the Start Here module is the goal for the 18th and the 19th. But starting on the 20th, which I'm declaring the beginning of week 1 because we're going to meet on Wednesdays, so all of our weeks should start on Wednesday. We're going to be looking at what policy making would look like without our comprehensive policy analysis model. And so a really, really great and pretty old organizational theory article about this from Cohen, March, and Olson called A Garbage Can Model of Organizational Choice. I look at it. If you're a little bit uncomfortable with some of the Greek symbols and things like that, don't worry about it. Kind of look at the argument, look at the takeaways, and I think you'll see that it might look an awful lot like some of the decisions that have been made in organizations that you've belonged to. And then the Brian Jones Bounded Rationality in Public Policy, Herbert Simon and the Decisional Foundation of Collective Choice. I found this article. I found this article a couple years ago, and I really enjoyed it. And I as a fan of as a fan of the punctuated equilibrium model of public policy making or public policy decision making, I've always been a fan of Brian Jones. But this is a really good look at Herbert Simon, who's a foundational person, one of the few political scientists to ever win the Nobel Prize. And he won the Nobel Prize in economics, so technically not the Nobel Prize, but something like the Nobel Award or something like that. And but if you look at it, if you look at his discussion of Simon, you'll probably be impressed with both the author and his subject. And so we'll have a quick syllabus quiz, and then I'm going to want you to reflect on your readings. And what we do is we first have the first step is that everyone will write a quick reflection on the readings, and then on days when we're outside of class, then you will react to somebody or everybody's their post. And so the first will be due on the 22nd, which is Friday, and then the follow-up will be due on the 24th. Right? Is that, yeah. So if our class is the 20th, that's Wednesday. Friday's the 22nd. Sunday's the 24th. The syllabus will be due the syllabus quiz will be due that next Tuesday. And then Wednesday will be our first class together. We'll look at the first few chapters of Weimer and Vining, so you should launch right ahead after you finish the Cohen, March, and Olson and Jones articles and the discussion right into looking at the Weimer and Vining textbook. And so what we do when we're in class is we discuss things in class, and you write up a quick sort of thought piece that you'll use to help inform your discussions, and then we will have the discussion in class. And if you feel like you haven't contributed a lot in the talking part, the seminar part of our meeting, you can always you can always say, Carl, make sure that you pay a lot of attention to what I've posted for class today. So anyway, I wish you all luck. I encourage you to contact me if you need anything, or you just want to say hi. And we'll get together on the 27th, hopefully with some work already under our belt. Thank you and good luck.